Hey guys, it's Rusty Nelson, your college art professor. It is Talking Watercolor Day, and it is, vlog 74, episode 37. And welcome new viewers, returning viewers, everybody coming in. See, I remembered my intro first to thank people. So I've been having issues with that. I just jump right into the crap. Anyway, so yeah, welcome in. Hey, if you are looking to start a watercolor journey, a drawing journey, you like figure drawing, you like drawing faces, you just like doing this creative visual stuff, you are hopefully going to get hooked on this channel because that's what I'm doing. I am a soon to be retiring college art professor that I'm putting some of the content, the stuff I do in my classes up at the university out onto this channel, and the tutorials, the lessons, the things that I have my students walk through depending upon the course. I do teach like foundation drawing class, both observation 1, and then I also teach figure drawing. I do intro to watercolor. I teach typically in graphic design, and so I'm also teaching illustration, and I have a lot of courses in 3D modeling and animation that I teach. So kind of a jack of all trades. I started out in the field working in advertising upon graduating from college, and learned a lot of stuff there that I then went and received and pursued my master's degree, that I brought that knowledge and information into the higher education realm, and been doing it for about 28 years. And like I said, I'm approaching retirement, and I'm just really not quite ready. I'm tired and ready for a change, I think is what. After 28 years, it's just, it's just time to move on and do something new. But I do like teaching, and I like showing people how to do stuff, which is why I started this YouTube channel. So if you are that person looking for something creative to do, hopefully this channel will give you some of the various lessons and skills that you're going to be needing to develop to get started and create some pretty fun artwork. And just, depends. Doesn't matter what you're wanting it for. It's if it's just to stay busy, that's great. If you're wanting to create artwork and try to start selling, that's cool too, because I've been helping students get their skills up to speed. And within 4 years, we get a lot of students coming in and they have nothing. They've taken no art in high school or anything. So we have to bring these kids up from ground zero up to a point where they're ready to traverse into their upper level studio courses or design courses, and be able to start visually describing stuff and designing stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at with this channel. I don't think we're gonna have a real long discussion today. Just kind of touching base, and let's see here. Yeah, it's week 7 already, if you can believe that. We are at midterm. This posts on the exact middle point of the semester. So if we have 15 weeks, this is week 7, and this is posting on Wednesday. So we are right halfway in between. Midterm break is actually next week. And yeah, we're getting right along. I can't believe how fast this semester is going. So I'm down to a semester and a half of formal higher education job before I retire. So it's crashing to an end. I can feel it already, and we are in the process of making our contingency plans for retirement and what we're going to be doing. So I think I mentioned last week that when we do make our move, we're leaving the college town where we're at and moving back into an area that my wife and I were both originally from. So it'll be good to get reconnected with friends and people we haven't seen and interacted with a lot in the last 28 years. So, and then that means the whole setup here. My studio will change, and it'll be a fun process to kind of renovate another house and make it what will work for me and my wife. Oh yeah, she did. I think I mentioned this last week. She's doing great with the hip replacement. She's walking around doing great. She's a little slower. She's starting to remember how to walk without the pain and it's an amazing process to see. She's been doing her physical therapy, and the therapists are great and really getting her back up on her feet. So, yeah, it's been it's been an interesting September so far. So, oh, let's see here. Nothing major on comments. I had some people, for whatever reason, I've had a lot of comments on some of the figure drawing stuff. So that leads me to believe I need to do some more figure drawing. I'm kind of walking my way through some of the requests that people have had. So, uh, I just posted a frog tutorial. Somebody wanted a frog, and I don't think I'd ever painted a frog before. So, I can't recall anything specific. I got a cat that I'm going to do. I need to do some trees. People have been wanting to do some trees, and then I'm going to try to get back and do some more figure drawing sessions, face sessions, and things like that. I've been working digitally on some processes and techniques within Procreate on an iPad that is yielding some pretty nice results. So I'm really kind of honing some digital skills as well, and that's always fun. I do like the digital stuff. It's a lot of interesting techniques and things that you can do, plus the added benefits of the layering and stuff that the things that the students really like, as opposed to the traditional stuff where, I've said this for years, that students will take a digital painting much further into completion than they will a traditional piece, mainly because of the fear of screwing something up and the fear of having to do it again. And that's, that's like the kiss of death, explaining that to students that, if you screw it up, so what? Do it again. They just they just hate hearing that. So, but yeah, nothing. Had some anatomy questions. Had to go do some research and look out on the internet about some muscle groups that a person was asking about, and I'm not sure if I answered it to their satisfaction or not. But it was a good question and led me back into looking at some anatomy and muscle groups along the side of the torso. I never had a drawing class that was that dependent. It's almost like this person. It sounds like this person might be involved in some medical aspect. So they definitely knew the name of the muscle group. I actually had to go Google it and go in there and look at it and see what they were trying to relate physically with the muscle groups, and then how you would actually draw them. But and then and then also it's a matter of, are you drawing it in a static pose or in an action pose, and then yeah, there's so many variables that are also dependent upon just observing the reference, whether it's photographic reference or a live person in front of you. And it is, I've said this in the past too, that it is a different beast to be drawing, figure drawing in a live session with live models than it is working with photography. That photograph doesn't move, right? So you have all the time in the world to kind of get that drawing done to the specifics of the photograph. Where with a live model, it's a constantly evolving pose. If it's a hour-long pose, that model shifts and they move, and so you really have to get in there and lock that pose into position quickly, and then start blocking stuff in, and then refine, and then just look over at the model just for that little, maybe it's lighting data, texture data, how the hair flows, and or the highlights hit on the body. Because once you've started and locked in that pose, by the time that hour and a half pose is done, and even the models may even take a break in between and then return to the pose, and they never get it exactly the way it was. So yeah, that live session, that's valuable skill sets. And I do encourage people, if you are starting to do a lot of drawing and stuff, get involved and find groups, art groups, and guilds and things like that are offering live drawing sessions, and you'll be really happy you did it. It exercises and develops a whole other set of skill sets that just drawing from photographs won't. And I'm not putting down drawing. I've drawn a lot of stuff from photographic reference over the years. You got to. You just can't constantly be in, with a live subject all the time. So, but they're two sides of the same coin. You got to be able to process and do both. And it's like I'm telling my observational drawing class this semester. We're working with photography, and I'm curating the photos that the students are working with. This is an online drawing course. So they got to realize I've made certain decisions about the photographs that they're looking at. And also the photographer who shot the photographs made a lot of decisions that they would have to make when they go out on location, plein air, and doing that. So there's a ton of things that you're just going to have to be aware of. Just because you get good at one thing doesn't mean there's some other things you can't change up, mix up, and try to develop another set of skills, oriented around drawing or watercolor and things like that. So, but drawing and watercolor, there's definitely a interaction between the two. You got to know the one to do the other, and they both feed upon each other in a lot of ways. And my technique with watercolor, I definitely can see it in regards to other watercolor artists and how they work. They might be more shape oriented. I love the wet on wet, the color melds and stuff like that. And if you've noticed with any of my watercolors, I definitely have a strong structural drawing approach to it, because I always have that as my third stage, and I go in there and I do a lot of drawing with the paint on my pieces to add that contrast, that structure, and that pop to the watercolors. So yeah, you can learn all the various techniques and this and that. Plus, you then have to start developing and thinking about stylistic choices that you have to, that you want to include in your artwork. So it's a wide world of options and decisions that you're going to have to make once you get started on this creative journey. So, and I have just been, and if you haven't figured out yet, that's exactly what I'm doing with this vlog, this podcast, whatever it's called, is, if you're watching these things regularly, this is for me and my development as a content creator, being able to talk to and communicate. And you would think after 28 years of being in front of students in a classroom that this would have been easy, but it's been actually pretty difficult just getting up to speed with being recorded and talking and presenting lessons in a video format. So, I mean, it kind of shows you, I think, how much, once a class gets started and you get over the hump of some of the initial stuff, how much you can just kind of go in and meet with the students for just a few minutes and then cut them loose and let them work on stuff. So it's a little different when you're doing a YouTube channel. Each video, you're having to present some information out there that's valuable for people to learn from. So anyway, I have been going on for absolutely no good reason today, just kind of visiting and talking, and hopefully overcoming any of my initial fears that I had from about a year. Gosh, it's closing in on 2 years since I started this channel. So that's crazy. And it's even crazier that I'm approaching retirement as fast as it's happening. So, hey, I do appreciate you guys watching again today, and all you returning viewers, you guys are great. I appreciate the comments and the feedback that I'm getting when you watch these talking watercolors. And if you did get any value out of this, please give me a like and a subscribe. Share it out there with people who you think would benefit from getting started drawing or working with watercolor, or somebody who just likes to draw with figures. I have a bunch of stuff in my video description, links galore to resources on my website, links over to Amazon for things you can buy. And if you do, I get a small commission. They're affiliate links. I have my Gumroad page where you can go in and buy a couple of products for a 15-week calendar and a syllabus with goals and objectives and videos to watch. It'll lead you through 15 weeks of what would happen in a course of a college semester. And if you think I'm doing anything on this channel that's worth a damn, head over to my Patreon channel and give me a $5 a month membership. I really do appreciate the support. It helps a lot, and we are making progress on this channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week talking watercolor.